Alright guys, so welcome to part 2 of my 6-part series going over all of the MLB awards and giving you my predictions for who I think is going to take home the big awards at the end of it all when it's all said and done. Yesterday I posted my predictions for the National League Rookie of the Year, so I went over Acuna and Soto and Buehler. I talked about all of them and I went over their stats, kind of compared them, and I gave my opinion on who I think will and should win. So if you guys want to go check that out, make sure to go check out the video. I'll drop it in the description if you guys want just an easy access to it. But that was yesterday. Today is the American League Rookie of the Year. This one's gonna be fun because there's a lot to debate with some of these candidates, and I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way right now. As you can tell by the background right here and the California, where is it? The thing right here and right here, even I got Angel Stadium right here. As you can tell by my room, I'm an Angels fan. I'm a pretty big Angels fan. I'm a big Mike Trout fan. I'm a big Shohei Ohtani fan. I like the Angels, that's my team. So take that bias as you will. I don't think it will play into the video. I'm usually pretty good at keeping my opinions at the door and looking at it from an unbiased perspective. So let's go ahead and talk about the candidates. The 3 candidates that we have: number 1, Shohei Ohtani from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He was a very interesting guy to look at in the offseason, and it's because he was a two-way player. He could both pitch and he could hit. He could do it both, and we really haven't seen anything like that in a century. So just because of that, he was already a guy with a lot of eyes coming in from Japan, and you know, he was a pretty big guy to watch. The next 2 guys are actually teammates, the first of which is going to be Miguel Andujar from the New York Yankees, and he was a staple in the New York Yankees infield throughout the entire season. He played pretty much all of it. I think he played about 149 games, so he was pretty much there the entire time. He was so consistent for them. He was a guy that the Yankees could rely on a lot to really get the job done, and he had an excellent season. So Miguel Andujar definitely deserving to be in this Rookie of the Year vote. And the other guy, also a New York Yankees infielder, Gleyber Torres. I think a lot of people probably expected Gleyber to have a full-on better season than Andujar, but Andujar did finish a little bit better. But either way, without Gleyber and without Andujar, the Yankees, I don't think, make the playoffs. They were 2 extremely important players for their team throughout the entire season. Gleyber and Miguel Andujar, they were staples of the team. So both of them definitely very deserving to be in this Rookie of the Year vote. So honestly, I feel like the National League Rookie of the Year voting is a little bit tougher to compare because you had hitter versus pitcher. That pitcher kind of throws a wrench in everything because it's hard to compare pitching stats to hitting stats. But this one for the AL, it's a little bit easier because all 3 of them have hitting stats that are very easy to look at and compare. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and start it off with Shohei Ohtani. At the dish this year, Shohei Ohtani hit .285. He had an on-base percentage of .361, a slugging percentage of .564, an OPS of .925, and an OPS plus at .152. He had 93 hits on the season, 21 doubles, 2 triples, 22 home runs, 61 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. He was really good at the plate. There was a stretch there, I think it was like late August or early September, where he really was hitting the ball well. He actually started to hit lefties a lot better. So Shohei Ohtani started off really well, then he had like a pretty average middle of the season, and then he really started picking it up again at the end part of the season, or the later part of the season. The thing about Ohtani though is he only had 326 at-bats, and if you look at a couple of the other guys, the amount of at-bats and appearances they had is a lot more. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Miguel Andujar from the New York Yankees. Let's take a look at his season. Miguel Andujar hit .297 with a .328 average, a .527 slugging, and an OPS of .855. He had an OPS plus of .126. He had 170 hits on the season, 47 doubles, 27 home runs, 92 RBIs. He had a total of 573 at-bats, so the amount of appearances right there next to Ohtani is already heavily favored in Miguel Andujar's case. And with his 47 doubles, he was tied for the second most by a rookie in Major League history, so his doubles numbers were off the charts. Now let's take a look at Gleyber Torres' season individually. So Gleyber Torres hit .271 on the season. He had a .340 on base, a .480 slugging, and an OPS of of 820. He had an OPS plus of 118, 117 hits, 16 doubles, 24 home runs, 77 RBIs, 6 stolen bases in 431 at-bats. So those are all the guys' seasons individually. Those are just their numbers. Now, with these hitting stats, let's go ahead and put them all into a graph and just compare who had the best season in each individual category. For batting average, Miguel Andujar won it out of the three with a 297 average. On base percentage, Shohei Ohtani won with a 361 on base. He also won the slugging category at 564. He had the highest OPS at 925, and pretty much the rest of the categories go to Miguel Andujar. Miguel Andujar had the most at-bats. He had the most hits with 170, the most home runs with 27, the most doubles with 47, and the most RBIs with 92. Ohtani did have 10 stolen bases, and Ohtani had the highest WAR out of all of them at 3.9. Now, I want you guys to take that stat into consideration for what we are about to talk about. So Ohtani with a WAR of 3.9, that's like a whole point better than both Andujar and Torres, and that's because Ohtani was also able to perform for his team on the mound. So this is where the interesting part of the debate comes in. We got to take a look at Ohtani's pitching stats because we saw what he can do at the plate. Now we also have to take into consideration what he did on the mound. So this season, Shohei Ohtani had a 3.31 ERA in 51.2 innings pitched. He only allowed 6 home runs. He struck out 63 batters, walked 22. He had a whip of 1.161. He had a strikeouts per 9 ratio of 11. Overall, Shohei Ohtani was a very good pitcher. I remember in the month of April when I think it was against the Oakland A's, I'm pretty sure he had like a no-hitter going into like the 7th or the 8th or something like that. That was so exciting to watch because everybody wanted to see this guy pitch, and to see what he could do on the mound while he was also hitting pretty well at that time too was just awesome. So that's what makes this vote so interesting is, yes, you've got 3 guys with really good hitting seasons, but then one of them also has some pitching stats behind him. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I don't think Gleyber Torres is winning this Rookie of the Year vote. I honestly do think it's only between Ohtani and Andujar. Gleyber Torres had a very, very solid season, but he wasn't even the best rookie on his team. I think Andujar had a way better season as a rookie than Torres did. So honestly, I don't think Torres is even in this debate right now. At the end of the day, I think this comes down to Miguel Andujar versus Shohei Ohtani. We know what Andujar can do at the plate. We know what Ohtani can do at the plate, but we also know what Ohtani can do on the mound. Here is one thing I think we have to look at though, or 2 things I guess. We gotta look at the amount of playtime. Honestly, Ohtani did something that nobody has done in about a century since Babe Ruth. He came to the league and was able to pitch and hit effectively. He was able to play both sides of the ball effectively. That's the big thing. Yeah, you got Clayton Kershaw who might be able to hit a home run every, 300 at-bats, but at the end of the day, Shohei Ohtani was able to be a force at the plate against some really, really strong pitching. But you have to look at the amount of innings, the amount of at-bats, and the appearances in the game. At the end of the day, Ohtani only started 10 games this season. Yes, he had really good numbers, a 3.31 ERA in those 10 games, but only starting 10 games and only having Andujar probably about double the amount of bats that you had, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Ohtani had 5 starts this year versus playoff teams. He had a start, or 2 starts against the Oakland A's. He had a start against the Boston Red Sox, and I believe 2 against the Houston Astros. In those 5 starts, he had a 4.86 ERA. He was not that great against really, really good competition. At the end of the day, when I look at this Rookie of the Year vote, as much as I love Shohei Ohtani, I really think the amount of playing time and the injury is just going to kind of hurt him in this vote. No pun intended, injury hurt. I think the fact that Miguel Andujar was healthy all year long and was consistent all year long, had a batting average of 3 points off 300, and the fact that he was like in the record books with doubles and, being a third base lock and helping them get to the playoffs like that, over 100 wins for the Yankees, is really, really important. And Shohei Ohtani was a really important part for the Angels, but I just don't think he played enough, and even when he pitched against good teams, I don't think he was as good as he could have been. Honestly, as much as I would love to give this award to Shohei Ohtani as an Angels fan, I gotta lean towards Miguel Andujar on this one, guys. Yes, the Angels fan with the Angels banner in the background and a picture of Angel Stadium above my bed, I think Andujar should win. Now, I do think Ohtani will win though. I don't think he should, but I think he will win the Rookie of the Year vote. I think people will be, just all over the fact that he was able to do both things pretty effectively. He was able to pitch and hit. I think a lot of people are going to look at the fact that nobody's done that in a century, and they're going to give him the award off that. But if I was going in there and I was voting, I would be voting for Miguel Andujar. He would have the check mark next to his name for me. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the American League Rookie of the Year. Do you think that Ohtani should win it? Do you think that Andujar should win it? Do you think I should have given Glaber a little bit more love? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I'm totally open to hearing what you guys have to say. If you want to call me an idiot, do that too. I can take it. But just let me know what you guys think. Either way, guys, drop a thumbs up on this video. The video for the National League Cy Young Award I will be posting tomorrow. Probably not a huge surprise who I think is going to win that. But either way, look out for that one tomorrow. Yeah, drop a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.